All right, welcome to this video where I'm trying to just get through maybe one or two of these examples. These are just the extra practice I gave out here on Thursday, let's see, October 17th. And if you look at this first example on the handout, what they're asking you to do ultimately is simply take the equation x cubed minus 2x squared minus 23x plus 60 and turn it into a set of three linear factors, or essentially three sets of parentheses. We will always, in this class, we will always be given one of those three factors. So if you really want to feel good about it and get a head start, one of your factors is the factor they gave you up here to start with. It is your job to find the other two. In order to do that, we start by filling out our first table, which is a 2 by 3. And then once we have that filled out, we're going to use the information we get to then also create a 2 by 2. And that's actually, that 2 by 2 is what's going to give us the answers for the two parentheses. So a couple things, highlights, things that are always true, not just for this problem. In these first 3 by 2 boxes, box methods, your first column will always be an x squared term, your next column will be an x term, and your last column will always just be a number. So ultimately, we're trying to figure out what goes in this top row, because that's going to be what's in the parentheses with question marks. But again, first column is always an x squared column, next one is an x column, the last one is just a number. For this example, we've already been set the x cubed. So another thing that you can always do, you can always count on, the top left box will always be your first term. The bottom right box will always be the last term. Right, so we can actually go ahead and fill that in with a 60. That is always true. In fact, we'll get down to this one. That's why those two are filled in on the 2 by 2. With that said, the top left box is x cubed. How do we get that? Well, our row has been determined for us by telling us the factor is x plus 6. So, wow, x plus 5. Jesus. All right. So if I want x plus 5 here, and I know that I need an x cubed in the top left, then the column starts with x squared. Because again, you're taking the column times the row for this box. So x squared times x is x cubed. The other box we can fill in is the end box. The last one on the right, up on the top, is, remember, what number in this column times 5 gets us 60. And we know that to be 12. Let me just get rid of that. So right now we have x squared gets us the box x cubed. 12 over here gets us the bottom right box 60. So this one here, I don't know yet if there's going to be a number in front of it or not, but we're about to find out. So maybe I'll change our color quickly. So in order to find out the middle column, I can fill in the bottom of this left column. X squared is now set. 5 was already set. If I take 5 the row times x squared the column, I get 5x squared. If I have 5x squared, this column is going to be some number x, so maybe 2x, 3x, doesn't matter. But when I take this column times the first row, I have some kind of an x squared answer. Again, if I put a 2 here in the top, then this is going to be a 2x squared, and so on. But what I have to do is look at 5x squared and some other x squared is going to combine in, excuse me, in my table. Those two numbers need to combine to a particular number, 2x squared. Sorry, negative 2x squared. So how do I get there? Well, I have 5x squared. And then I'm going to include like a probably a subtraction, because I need to get to negative 2x squared. Okay, well, 5 minus 7x squared gets me my answer. So I really need negative 7x squared in this box. If I do that, I combine them together to get negative 2x squared. Well, that has pretty much just set this top middle box. How do I get negative 7x squared? Well, I'm going to take x from the row times negative 7 in the column, sorry, negative 7x, and I get the negative 7x squared. From there, we can check the last one. We should get negative 23x by combining these two, right? So these two boxes here, if I take negative 7x times the row 5, that's negative 35x. If I take the column 12 times the row x, that's 12x. If you check, negative 35x plus 12x does in fact give us negative 23x. Okay, that is halfway there. So we now have x plus 5, which was given to us, times the other part, x squared minus 7x plus 12. Now I need to take this and turn it into these two factors. That's where this set of boxes comes in. Notice the top left is always the first term. So the top left box is x squared, and the bottom right box is always the last term. So whether it's a 2 by 3 or a 2 by 2, top left is always the first term, bottom right is always the last term. With that said, I now need to say, well, to get that, I had an x here and here. That got me x squared. How did I get 12? I got 12. If I looked at my factoring form or my factor pair cheat sheet, I can get 12 by saying 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. So if I did 1 here and 12 here, I do in fact get 12. The problem is this is 12x, and this is just x. When I combine 12x and x, that's 13x. 13x is not negative 7x. So I got to start over. It's not 1 and 12. All right, well, so I'm going to, 1, 12. Doesn't work. 2 and 6. If I put a 2 and a 6, well, I get 12, yes, but when I have 6x and 2x, that's 8x. Still wrong. None of it. It's wrong. It's all wrong. No, let me erase all this. Okay, so it's not that, that's that. I am left with 3 and 4. Literally my only option left. I hope it works. All right, well, 3 times 4, yes, is 12. So I can put a 3 here and a 4 here. That makes 12. The problem is that doesn't get me negative 7x. That gives me positive 7x. But if I do that and I make them both negative, negative 3 plus negative 4 is in fact negative 7x, right? Because that's negative 3x, negative 4x. Those combine to negative 7x. When I take a negative times a negative, I get positive 12. So my answers are x minus 3, x minus 4. That, in less than 10 minutes, is an explanation of how to do that. I think I have time. I'll create a separate video. I'll walk through one a lot faster without the explanations, and hopefully after watching this one and then you watch the second one, things will start flowing a little quicker. But your answer, x plus 5, x minus 3, x minus 4. There's your answer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.